we as a group have been walking around with a heavy heart today. You know, our leader, our friend, our manager shared some pretty devastating news with us today. So, you know, we hit just about every emotion you possibly can. That was capped off by a lot of excitement in the dugout, and I think these guys did that for John. They went out there and they fought hard, played with a ton of energy for John today.
Sean, right. Torey, could you kind of take us through your day when you found out that John was sick, and when you found out that you would be taking over as interim manager, just what it's been like emotionally for you?
It's been tough. It's been you know, an emotional 18 hours. I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking about it till 5 o'clock in the morning. Slept for 15 minutes. Thought about it again. He told me yesterday during the evening, and it's never any type of information you're prepared for. He was candid. He came right out and just said, you know, I have cancer, and this is what's happening. And you know, for several minutes, he kind of coached me through my emotions. And by the end of it, we were laughing and chuckling about things, and he knew more information today. So I knew yesterday. Towards the end of the day, worked through the day with him, knowing where he was and what he had to kind of embark upon here with the guys. Just wanted to be there for him on every level, and that was the last thing I told him before I went out for the game. I said, we're here for you. We're built for this. Don't you worry. You take care of yourself right now. That's the most important thing.
John, on the right.
Torey, how would you characterize his words for the team, and how he broke the news to the team, and how it was received? What was that moment like?
You know, something that I'll never forget. You know, you hear those words, those 3 words, and they just kind of they shock you for a moment and seem to put everything in perspective. You put aside the wins and losses, and you know, like I said, my friend, our manager, our leader is struggling. You can never ever get used to hearing those words. You know, he stood up before the guys, composed himself, and said, "This is my story, and I don't want to be the story. I don't want to be the distraction." And that's true. It's just a classic John Farrell moment. He wants to just make it about the guys, and that's kind of what his message was today. You go out and do this. I'll take care of my business. You take care of yours. That was the basic idea. You know, I think these guys all heard the news. You're never really ready for anything like that. They adjusted, and I think they understood at 7 o'clock they have a job to do, to go out there and perform with maybe a little bit of extra emotion. But that's the Boston Red Sox way. That's what we expect of our guys. They go out and execute a game plan, and they're that professional and that good, and I think they're able to separate it. Personally, it's one of the hardest days that I've ever had to endure, and you know, he's one of my closest friends. When you hear that type of news, it's not easy to work through, and I'm still working through it. You're right. I'm not quite where I want to be. I don't think any of us will be, but you know, we're going to fight for John, and like Poppy said, we're on this ride with John. We're all together. We're a family.
Torey, John was talking about how, you know, he thinks that baseball will kind of be a distraction for him, maybe help him get through it. How much do you intend to communicate with him through the process, and maybe talk about baseball and do whatever you can?
Well, I want to give him a ground level view, a dugout view of what's happening as often as I can. But getting ready to understand a little bit about what he's going through, I'm not going to force that upon him. I'm going to, as we always do, we have a clear line of communication. It's because of our friendship, but I want to keep him as close as I possibly can, and I'm going to let him control the climate. I don't want to. You know, he might be having a bad day, and I'm going to ask him. I did tell him. I said, if we're going to talk baseball, you're not having a good day, just tell me. We need to postpone this. And this is uncharted territory for all of us. We don't know what's going to happen, especially in John's case. You know, here's this warrior that's telling us it's going to be okay, but I know he doesn't know. So he's gonna run it. I'm going to give him as much as he wants on a daily basis, just because he's my friend, and also I want to keep him as engaged as possible. But he needs to separate a little bit. He needs to take care of John Farrell, and I think that's slowly registering with him.
Sean, right. Torey, you've managed a lot of games. You've even managed some games for John. He's been ejected, or like the other night in Miami. But how different was tonight, and what do you expect of yourself over these final 6 or 7 weeks?
Tonight was a difficult night. I found myself, you know, probably 250 times thinking about John, you know, and I try to just let that go and move off of it. It's one of my closest friends, and it was difficult for me at times, but the guys made it easy. They went out there and performed and did the job. But my thoughts are going to be to let these guys go out and perform and play with the expectations that we've always had, to go out and represent the Boston Red Sox and take pride in the name across our chest and win as many games as possible. Obviously, the record indicates that we're down at the bottom, so if we don't make a strong, fast run here, you know, we're going to be evaluating guys for next year. So there's a lot that's going into this, but it's not going to change my approach whatsoever. Having managed, you know, I don't know what my style of managing is. I just expect a lot. I have demands of these players, and I want them to go out and represent the Boston Red Sox to the best of their ability.
Torey, do you know what time he left the ballpark? When's the last time you spoke with him before the game began?
I went out as late as possible because I just wanted to tell him, I'll see you later. And that was probably at about 6:45, right in that time frame. So I just went in there, shook his hand. I think I gave him a hug. I can't remember. That's where I'm at. And just said, hey, we'll see you later, and I'll be in touch with you. But I have a funny feeling. I know the next couple of days are going to be more of the preparation type of days for him, and I think we're going to see him around here being John. And then once everything begins, I think we're going to you know, obviously go through these uncharted territories and waters and see where it takes him. Right. You know, quite an offensive output by us, and highlighted by Travis Shaw. You know, it's a great day for Trav. And as I said about Jackie, these young players come up here prepared. They work hard for those moments, and they deserve these moments. And, you know, not to be undersold, it was Joe Kelly, who retired 16 of the last 19 batters, 75 pitches after the first inning, and had a number of shutdown innings. I mean, he kept the line moving for us offensively, and it goes hand in hand. And it was a very contagious day, and a very exciting one. You know, you put up those types of days, it gives you a lot of hope for, you know, what tomorrow brings. And we got to make sure that we put this one aside and come out tomorrow and execute the same type of game plan.
Other questions, Torey? Okay, Bill.
Yeah, a couple of injury things. The status of Ruth Castillo, and any update on Hanley Ramirez?
Both are working through some contusions in that left foot area. Very similar places, very similar types of plays. Rusney has left here today, and he's going to get some imaging tomorrow, and we'll know more about him and his status. But much in the same with Hanley. He was checked out today, and he's moving in a very good direction. He's getting healthy. You know, he just feels a little bit of discomfort there still, so he's getting closer. And you know, hopefully these guys will get back in there as soon as they possibly can. But you know, we don't want to do anything that's going to put them in harm's way. We want to do right by the player, but their time's coming.